Frankey and Sandrino, thank you for agreeing to chat to me today. We're here to focus primarily on your label, Sum Over Histories. But before we get into it, tell me a little bit about how you guys came together, when you met and started releasing and DJing as the duo Frankey and Sandrino.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a long
first
time
of all,
ago.
thanks for having us. Hi.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a story. It started I think meanwhile it's more than 2 decades ago. It was in the beginning of the 2000s when Frankie and me met during residency I was holding, and a semi-residency Frankie was doing at a club called Bhutan Club. So it means we regularly played there, and it
Is
was
that in
just a matter
Berlin?
of. No, that was in
In
Wuppertal. It was
Wuppertal.
in western part of Germany. It's actually not a big city, but somehow also now they opened an amazing club. It's one of the best clubs in Germany. I think it's called Upper Ground or something like this. I don't know the name, but I want to visit it. So yeah, back then it was just a matter of time till we cross paths, and
Yeah,
then
it was like a
at
little
some
bit like
point.
we had the same surroundings, like we knew a little bit of the same people. We had this club where we maybe met, we played the same, and then I mean, how it always is when you have a big bunch of people from a region that is kind of the scene, the bubble you're surrounded with. I was already busy with my other projects, Dinox and Beckers, and this was also somebody that I knew because of same surroundings. And after a while, you just figure out that the few people that are more serious and more obsessed with things, and it's just a matter of time that your paths cross, and then yeah.
Was there something in particular that attracted you to one another? Was it a particular conversation, or was it a series of kind of meets and conversations, the love of the
I would
same
say
music?
it was just the time, because it was very natural. I mean, Frankie and me, we started to work together it's 26, so we started to work together. God, it's 16 years ago, Frank. It was in October 2010 that we first time sat together in the studio. But it was not that something specific led to that. It was just out of the blue. Hey, we were talking, and then you know what? Let's just go into the studio to see what's the outcome. So without pressure.
I was curious because Sandrino came from a little bit a different music background, more in the more maybe melodic and a deeper house music, which was kind of a fresh, newer world for me at the time. I'm more coming from the progressive house, and I was like very open just to let's see where this is going, and like just let me guide by him, by music that I didn't know. And I think there were at the beginning even like some tracks that we made in the beginning that even took me a while longer to really understand what we actually did there. It was really very natural, just out of a flow that the first tracks came together. And yeah, it was never really forced or planned really too much. It was just a natural flow, actually.
And then the label, I mean, you've just celebrated 10 years, right? Your 10th year, so 10 years.
It's still ongoing. So we started to celebrate it with the Path Integral 10, which was also in the 10th year. But we will also have anniversary VA, which is coming out in a couple of months as well. And a few remixes from some classic tracks we had on the label, more releases from new people, but also from like people we have since maybe the beginning of the label with us. So yeah, it's exciting what's going on this year. Still not in shock, but I still can't believe that it's already 10 years. Because when we started the label, it was more of a naive idea to do it. We didn't have a long-term plan for it. It was just let's release music. We think it deserves to be released, and that's still the case today. without thinking in genres or thinking in boxes or trends or whatever. Just what comes across and touches us will be released.
Mm. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the artists later, but I just want to go back to the names, Sum Over Histories. I've always been intrigued by the name. It's got a sense of mystery to it. And then I found out recently that it relates to something to do with quantum mechanics and a theory created by a guy called Richard Feynman.
Exactly.
What drew you to this name, and is there like a deeper connection to the ethos and the vision of the label?
So give me 1 second and I show it to you.
While Sandrino's that thing, I will say that I watched a video, a little YouTube explaining the theory of this quantum mechanics thing, and it, it just blew my mind.
It's quite mind-fucking, that thing, you know? Yeah. And also with
So,
this
Yeah.
little sign, you know, it's also the, you have the book there.
so it's this book from Feynman about quantum electrodynamic. This book explains one of the theories or is that actually light, you know, from I don't know, point A to point B, yeah, logically would take the fastest way or the more direct way. But light is working very mysteriously, and light would take any possible way to B, which, you know, can be an infinite number of ways. So it's a sum over histories, you know? So this is also, I think, relating also to music, because when, for example, I can speak from on my behalf that when I listen to music, I feel it in a certain kind of way, but maybe not everybody feels the same way about this specific track. What for me is dark, maybe for someone is happy, or vice versa, or whatever, you know? So music has multiple layers, multiple ways of speaking, you know? So I thought this may resonate with the music or how I feel about music.
So were you thinking, sorry, Frankie, you were thinking already about the label, and then you read that book and you had a light bulb moment where you're like, this is the perfect title for the label. Is that how it went?
I mean, it's the whole quantum mechanic thing. I think that's more a passion of Sandrino, but with the name, especially in that case, you actually proved before why I like it, because even if you really don't know anything about it and you just read the name, it has something mysterious. It has like a sound, a melody that is totally open for imagination. And I like that too, you know. It's not really important to know what it is. It makes then also a lot of sense, but even it's a word that just can have a lot of meanings, and that's what I kind of like about it. It's very open.
And actually, the name was, I called Frankie. It was like a few years before the label. And I said, look, Frank, I have the perfect name for an album if we ever do one, you know? It will be Sum Over Histories. So after it was clear that we may never release an album, I thought it's a pity to not use this name for something. So let's go for the label.
Mm. And the theory is also known as the path of the integral formulation, which would explain the title of the label's compilation series, Path of the Integral, right?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Um, Now, sticking with that series, as we just said, you recently celebrated 10 years of the VA with the Path of the Integral X. So congratulations. I mean, did you ever imagine that you're going to hit double numbers when you started with that VA? Double digits?
No, because so it was not intended to be a series at all. It was just it was so the first release was but I had tracks from Dennis Horvat, Rancido, and Lazarus. It was the first release, the 3 tracks, and I thought, okay, how to kick off the start of the label, rather than starting like regularly with EPs or whatever. So I thought, let's pick some tracks from different directions and put them together and name it Path Integral. And then to kick off the label like that, you know, and then it became a thing. So at the beginning, it was more random, the release, and not really regularly. And then it started to become more of a tradition. And we do it now yearly, yes.
Mm.
But I think also, I feel, because I'm a little bit more, not so much involved in the daily business of the label, but I remember when the first few Pass Integral were going off, that it was also maybe pushed forward because it had such a response that also you got almost overwhelmed also with a lot of good music, and a lot of new and young artists were actually wanted to be on this compilation. So that was almost like, you know, we had already one compilation full, and you could already like almost fill the next one, you know, because we were getting so much good music suddenly, and which was I think also like a nice surprising side effect of the compilation also by itself.
Something that surprised me though was that your track Matter, which was released on the 10th VA, it's the first time you've ever included one of your own tracks in the series. Why did it take so long?
Because we're slow. So
No, but you've released
that's
a lot
it.
of music, obviously, on your label, haven't you? You've released a lot of stuff, but just not on that VA.
Yeah. There is no real reason for that. It just it happened to be the 10th anniversary. It was not that, okay, we need now to release a track. It was just that it just happened right now. I'm sure we were considering it before, but then generally we don't do so much because we think that our music is more special if you don't repeat yourself too often and give a little bit of time to breathe in between. And then the tracks we actually produced, they were taken very fast, and we released them either on other labels or we formed an EP because it makes sense to release them together. And it just happened to happen right now without any specific reason, to be honest. I'm happy it happened now because even better to celebrate the 10th release for it in the 10th anniversary year. So yeah, good moment.
Last year, I did an interview with Steve Parry from Celador. And obviously, he runs the label Celador with Dave Seaman. And he said that in order to sign a track, they both had to like the track. You know, that was the golden rule, and that they did set themselves at the beginning, and you know, they stuck by that. Even though he admitted that sometimes that was frustrating, you know, when one liked a track and the other didn't. Do you have a similar rule?
Not really, I have to say, because I think Sandrino has the bigger vision of the label, is way more also socially connected with artists, and I generally trust him with the whole with his taste. And I know there's sometimes even if there's maybe tracks that are maybe not exactly my taste, I can always see like the quality that's inside, you know. And sometimes it's the other way around, that somehow some tracks come to me from people or whatever, and if I feel like, hey, this is something that, yeah, that's. I mean, that's the funny thing is we're looking actually for the same things, even we have different tastes, because it has to somehow stand out, you know, and also that when it feels timeless and somebody found like a unique own artistic language, then it's already good, you know, and then I know it's worth considering to release. But in generally, yeah, nowadays I trust Sandrino there, and I'm not involved with every track. It's not like it has to be two decisions. That's not like it.
So at the end of the day, it needs to be like this. We are the two of us, and also Marina. Marina is the soul of the label, handling the daily business. So there are three persons. Let's put it like this. We are 300%, you know. So if Frank comes up and says, I love this track so much, but I don't, or Marina don't, you know. But Frank likes it 300%. So there you go. We have it, you know. So at the, at the end, you need to hit those 300%. No matter if a track is decided to be released by me, I don't know, Marina or Frank.
Okay, good, yeah. Your label motto is contemporary electronic music made for the closed eyes dancers. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of the music on the label isn't necessarily made for the dance floor, certainly in the traditional sense. You know, there's a real exploration of what's possible with electronic music. You know, I think the label really is pushing the envelope. There's lots of experimental, more left field electronic music from artists such as, you know, in Peru, um, Emir, my friend Keem, whose his track featured on your latest VA. Is that experimental side something that you were always kind of keen to push with the label from the beginning?
Mm,
I think it's not that we are looking for a specific sound or we see, oh, it needs to be more left field or experimental.
exactly.
You know, it just, I don't want
I
it
think
to
it's
be
very natural,
standard. That's
actually.
it.
It's what I said before. Now it's like when we feel like, me personally, I really get mostly excited about music nowadays after so many years when something is different. And that I really like it, it comes maybe second or third. But if something is really different and I can't even explain if I like it or not, then I'm interested, you know. And I think for Sandrino it's the same when you feel like, and it's not like hey, let's push like experimental music. We never thought like that. It's never like a strategy. It's just like this touches us in a way that maybe, or it makes maybe something, let us feel something that we never felt before, and then it becomes interesting also maybe for a release. And I think that's also what we get good feedback from the people who like the label, that they feel like, oh, here's something, you can find something different here, and not that tries to fit in the recent hype or whatever.
Yeah,
And I also
100%.
like the challenge. I like the challenge, for example, to release tracks, because every track we release, it also works in a context of the club. Yeah. I think you just need either to be brave enough or you need to be good enough to know its position to make it work in such a way that you understand its full potential and power, for example, you know, because every track can easily work in a club context as well as like on your headphones from, I don't know, Spotify. God, I said it.
I mean, you've clearly built like reoccurring relationships with artists such as, you know, Jeppe, Peru, Vinny Pastore. What keeps you coming back to collaborate with these same people, or you know, are you kind of banging on their door, said, "Hey, you know, what have you got for us? You got some more stuff?"
I think it also happens like people are happy to release with us. They like us. Sometimes we are just like a step stone for them, you know, to go further. Because, for example, in the case of Imperieux, which is one of my favorite artists we released on the label, um, you can hear from the first release to the last release we had from him a huge development, and now he's went in a completely different direction. I would definitely love to release something from him, but I also see that maybe for him it doesn't make any sense because he's now into a different kind of audience, which like our audience maybe we cannot provide the audience he deserves for his music, you know. So and sometimes it's like people are coming, going, coming back, you know, it's like that. um, I can't really tell you there is I don't know, a strategy behind it, or
Mm.
okay, let's keep these people as long as possible. I think if someone is happy with our job and happy to find some of our histories, or to consider this as a home for his, hers music, then I'm happy for it. If they like it and we like it, then everybody wins, and that's it. Easy as it sounds.
Mm. What have been some of the most successful release on the label? And when I say successful, I'm going to leave that interpretation entirely to you, however you see fit to interpret it.
You know that better than
I
me.
guess I guess in terms of numbers, Frankey and Sandrino records sell very good, I must say. A part of that, if you put the numbers aside, this is the nice thing, that the releases are successful over the time, and I think my idea or our idea is, let's try to put music out which maybe stands the test of time. Obviously, it's a hit and miss, trial and error with everything. You think sometimes can be, it's timeless, but then you have it there and you realize very fast, oh, I jumped too fast on it, and I already don't feel it. But it's also okay because it's a snapshot in time, which makes sense for that moment, for sure. But there are other releases, for example, I think in terms successful for me, in terms of I play it and I still love it, and I think it's, my God, I'm so proud I have it. I would say it would be Kevin Di Serna's Faro, the original one. So I love the Jonathan Kasper remix for sure. But the original, look, before we released it, I had it already for over 2 years in my box. And when Kevin sent me the tune, I listened it for the first time and I was already very much interested in it. And he said, look, unfortunately, it's already taken, it's signed with a huge label. I don't know I don't want to mention the name, but it's a big label. And I always came back to this tune. I played it, and I always came back to to Kevin every 6 months, and I was like, "What's going to happen with the track? I still don't see it released. Yeah, they take so long. They take so long." Then it was when was it? I think 2023 when we had the Essential mix. It was a half a year before I started to collect tracks, and obviously I was going to ask him if I can use it for Essential mix because the track was not released. So he said, yeah, it's still not released, but you can surely use it. And then after 2 years, he said, you know what, the label is not moving forward. And since you love it so much, still, and I was like, not still. I love it even more at the beginning, as at the beginning. So there was the moment when we got a go and we were able to release it on our label. So it's a release I'm very proud of.
The funny thing is, actually, I asked Pole Position recently a similar question in regards to their label Anims, and guess who they said? It was a Kevin DeCerna track as well. So yeah, big up to Kevin DeCerna. Frankie, would you agree, or do you have a kind of a different track or release?
I first thought actually you're gonna say as an answer that would be maybe my favorite, and I'm really bad with the name, that one track you still play sometimes from Imperieux. You know which one? What's the name?
Which the one I'm playing always is the Reze track.
No, the one that is released on our label.
5A, 5A. Let me think about.
But yeah, I even know the names. That's.
Are you sure it's 5A or it's 12A, 12B, 12A?
I would say it's 5A.
Is it Terra Incognita?
Yes.
Can be. Yeah, it's 12A, I think.
I guess there's so many tracks you release, so many artists, you do end up forgetting some of the names, especially when they go quite far back.
Yeah, this is the one because
I love it.
I hear this track maybe once every 6 months when we play a long set together, And even after all the years, every time I hear it in a club, I get like goosebumps, and I feel like that doesn't stop working. It does something to me. I don't know.
It's a
And then it's
track.
always like, man,
It brings so much. This is what this is for me success. You know, not in the terms, oh, now selling numbers and every DJ is playing it. No, a track, you going back to it after all these years and you play it in the right moment and it causes yourself goosebumps, you know? And it's like, fuck, this is on our label. That's amazing, you know?
exactly. That's
As
what I mean.
Frankie
Yeah.
said, and you play it, this is music. You have to play in a right context. If you have a long set and you prepare for such a tune, because it's a heavy digestible tune, you can't just come and play it. You can't do that, you know? So it needs preparation, it needs time, it needs leading and build up to this track. But then, wow, it explodes.
Can't wait to check this track out. So who's the artist on this? What's the track?
Imperieux, Terra Incognita.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with that one. Yeah. Good. Okay. Last question, really. You've just released an EP by a previous guest on here, a friend of mine and a fellow cyclist, the lovely
Vini.
Vinny Pastoris, of course. Yep. Time Bomb. What is coming up next? You did mention that there's a kind of an anniversary VA. Is that the next release, or do you have anything coming before that?
No, the next release will be Alex Medina. He's coming back on Sum Over Histories, so he has a 4-tracker with tracks which are unbelievable. And the funny thing, these tracks are all from an older Alex Medina, so I'm sure they are all like 6 or 5 to 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So I hope I don't say anything wrong. I think there are 4 tracks. 3 of them they're older and 1 is a new one, and I really love them. It's also heavy digestible music, but brave music, good music, music you need to dedicate your ear and your soul to it, to listen, to understand it. It's not just to consume it and think, okay, ta 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 ta. No, it's music you need to dedicate your time to it. If you want to, obviously. If not, okay, don't. But it's
Yeah, but for me, it's
amazing
one of
music.
the artists also when every time when I see also in the promo there's a Alex Medina track, I get super excited because I don't know what's gonna happen. It's like it's like something will happen that you don't know. It's like it's not going over the usual, the easy ways, and that's what I actually like much more nowadays.
Yeah. I love his Yes to All stuff that's coming out at the moment
Yes,
as
well,
well.
yes.
Really good.
So
Yeah.
there will be we have Nadia Ali track which we remixed. This will be on Sum Over Histories. Then we have another Jeppe EP on Sum Over Histories. Then we have the anniversary VA. Then we will have a remix EP of Love Complete. And then there are a few other things
The Bubba track,
going
right? The
on.
Bubba track that featured on the Uber Al mix as well as the Nadia Ali one. That one's the
Yeah,
one.
this is the one.
The track that opened the mix, wasn't it? But Bubba as well, I think. Yeah.
It will be the last one on the mix. The first one, it's actually it's an intro version, which Frankie and me play like semi or hybrid. I don't really like the word, but I think it explains it best. It's a mix in between live and DJ. So and Frankie wrote this track or arranged this intro track as an intro track for our live sets. Actually, it might not be released or get a release, so we will have it only for us. But the clubby version will be released. Yes.
And what about the track? I think it's titled Disruption. That's a new one from you, is
Yeah.
it? Is that coming
Yeah.
out on the label as well?
No, it's coming out on Compact in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. Well, listen, guys. thank you very much for chatting to me today. I want to
Thank you.
finish by telling you something that I think is real credit to you. A funny little story. I have a good friend called Ian. Hi, Ian, who I've known since I was young. He actually lives in Berlin these days. Anyway, like myself, he's getting a bit old and grumpy, and certainly in in regards to electronic music, he's quite set in his ways these days. He still listens to a lot of the DJs we were growing up with, Sasha and Deep Dish. So when I told him that I was hoping to interview you guys, he wanted me to let you know that you're the first DJ producers he's liked for a long time. And honestly, if you knew him, that's the ultimate compliment.
Absolutely.
Thank
That's
you.
really
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, it's been a real pleasure. Again, thanks for taking the
Likewise.
time to
Same.
chat to me, and hopefully we're going to catch up in person. In a few weeks' time, because you're
Ye-
playing at Dusk Till Dawn in Ghent, and I'm going to make my way over from here in
Cool.
Brighton. And yeah, I'm really hoping to catch it. Well, I'll definitely be catching your set, but hopefully we'll connect then and have a chat as well. So yeah,
For
thank
sure.
you again, guys.
Thank
Hey,
you,
thank
Rick.
you, man.
Have a good one.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one. Cheers.